know how sometimes you think that the best times in your life were when you were a kid? When my mom died, she apologized for not giving me a better childhood. I'm still trying to figure out what that means. It's like a lost chapter in history, or like one I rewrote in my head. The only memories I have of that time, of Aunt Mavis and my cousins, are of days I spent at their house. When I was a kid, I lived in a small neighborhood with my mom. I didn't have any brothers or sisters, only 2 cousins who were a little older than me. They were big and mean and liked to push me around, but I ran faster. Sometimes we worked together to make trouble. Our daily mission was to steal cookies from the cookie jar. Aunt Mavis tortured us by keeping it stocked up with fresh sugar cookies high up on top of the fridge where we couldn't reach. Another pastime was daring each other to look into the eyes of Uncle George's prized mount. Henry told me once that if you made direct eye contact for too long, it would cast some kind of terrible curse on you. But if we closed our eyes, we would endure pain and humiliation. When we got caught in the act, the offenders would have to spend time out next to the thing, and the victim got to sit on the couch and eat cookies and watch cartoons. I didn't always mind being wimpy. My favorite part of those days was dinner time. Aunt Mavis would roast a giant bird and set it in the middle of the table. My cousins and I would fight over the salt and pepper. At the end of the day, my mom would come and get me. I cried every time I had to leave, and Aunt Mavis would wrap up 3 cookies and give them to me on the sly. It was like our secret pact. A hint that maybe she was a really decent lady after all. The day Mom told me we were moving to a small apartment in the city, those golden years suddenly became ancient history. I didn't see my cousins much after that, and even less after school started. Aunt Mavis doesn't leave the house much anymore. She sent a letter to the family lawyer that arrived after the funeral, saying that she couldn't make it, but is holding on to part of my inheritance. Old satellite pictures of the neighborhood are the only evidence I can find that the place actually exists.
Patrick? Is that you?
Hi, Aunt Mavis.
Oh my goodness, it is you! You look so much like your mother. I mean, more than your father. I always thought you could look more like your father. Oh, never mind. Come on in. I want to know everything.
Okay.
You know, Henry's going to school for molecular biology. Oh, Red. You boys were always so bothered by that old thing.
Yeah. I remember it being much more terrifying, though.
Well, your Uncle George, God rest his soul, he put that there because he knew the boys were scared of it. Made them take time out more seriously. You know, I wish I knew you were coming. I would have straightened up a bit.
It looks alright.
Well, come on in and have some cookies and I'll make some coffee. I used to bake cookies for you boys just about every other day. But then with Henry and Fred, well, Henry's off to school, I started eating them all by myself. I knew that you'd be coming, so I started baking them again and then mailing them off to the boys. Really, I just didn't want to get caught off guard.
Did you get a new table?
You remember those shakers? You boys used to argue over them.
Yeah. So how's Fred doing?
Fred? Oh, he's married.
Cool. Who's the girl?
Some girl in the city. Real nice girl. They have a 3-year-old.
No way. That's pretty cool.
I guess you're curious to see what it is. Those are some of the photos from that time. The best ones were of you boys.
Mom never kept any pictures of us.
Well, she didn't like to talk about that time. I think that's why she wanted you to have them. I remember that one. You know, we tried really hard to give you boys a good childhood. But with your father leaving and your mother working full-time, it was a really bad time. I mean, it was a bad time for all of us. We just wanted to give you boys everything that the other kids had. That was really important to us. We didn't want you to have to be the poor kids.
I don't think I should read any of this.
It was really important to your mom. But I think the past is the past, and that's where it should stay.
I just need this one.
You know, I'm really proud of you boys. You all turned into some fine men. I just feel bad that we couldn't always give you everything that you needed.
I think you did all right. I never knew that we were poor, or that each month we were closer to not being able to pay the rent. I suddenly realized what my mom was trying to say. She lived her whole life trapped in the past, and managed to keep it a secret. I wish I told my mom how thankful I was when I had the chance. It's less important to me to know how difficult things were than to just remember how happy we were. The childhood captured in those pictures is really the only one I want to remember. Maybe someday I'll want to know the rest of the story. And when that day happens, Aunt Mavis will be waiting with cookies.